Hola, mis amiguitos. Today, I want to tell you a story. Um, it's a story that has a learning lesson, so stick around so you can learn something because I actually believe in learning something from everything. So, it's interesting. Stay with me. So, today I went to the eye doctor and I went to see if they can give me a new prescription for my glasses because I lost my glasses again and again and again and again. So I need a new prescription now. Went, got my eyes checked, and there was a machine in a room with like 6 machines, and each machine I had to like open my eyes, close it. It's going to fucking squirt some air, a little bit of water, different features in every machine to get different things. So there was one machine that I made the mistake of taking a glance to the computer while I was taking a break. And when I looked, I saw both my eyes there. And I noticed, and I was like, they're so nice. I love you guys. Yay. But then I noticed that in one of the eyes, there was like something in the middle that looked suspect. So I was like, what the fuck is that? I actually focused my eyes and I was like, is that fucking parasites right now in my eyes? I told the technician, excuse me, are there parasites in my eye? And he said, like, I'm not allowed to tell you anything about this procedure. And I was like, oh God, no. But he said, the doctor will tell you everything. And I'm like, it's bad news, bitch. Well, point is that I had to go out once I was done with everything. I couldn't concentrate, no other machine. I was just like freaking out, hyper focused on these parasites that I probably got last time I ate carnitas in fucking Mexico. And I was like, ¿y ahora qué yo voy a hacer? I'm gonna have to get a brain operation. They're gonna have to take my eye out. I just started thinking about all the possible worst case scenarios right then and there. Anyways, I had to get out, sat outside, waited for the doctor for about 10 minutes. That felt like 3 hours. And then I go into the doctor's office and he telling me, oh, how are you? Let's do this other test. And I'm like, doctor, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm freaking out. And he's like, why? Because I saw the picture and it looked like I have like parasites or worms inside of my freaking pupil or iris, whatever you pronounce that. I don't know how to pronounce that in English. My iris is looking like it has worms. And he's like, what are you talking about? And he's like, look at the picture on the computer. And he looked for it, found it. And he's like, oh, that's weird. I mean, that's kind of weird. But let me check something. And then I'm like, yes, doctor, I have like fucking maggots. Like, what you gonna do? And then he's like, girl, you ain't got no maggots. Watch, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna check the ultrasound of the back of your eyes. If you ain't got no parasites, I need you to relax. Because I was crying at this point. I was just freaking out. I was just like, what the fuck is that? So he goes and checks the back of my eye, the ultrasound, the sonogram, and then he notices that there's no parasites, there's no maggot, there's no nothing in there. So he's like, see? Now you chill. And then I was just like, okay, doctor, fine, I'm gonna chill. Long story short, or long story long, I was able to get someone to look at my eyes, give me my prescription. I got a little bit of a nice little scare. And then after, I'm able to go on and go ahead and get my new glasses. But on top of that, my other benefit from this experience was to be able to develop an interest in learning about eyes. Because I just became obsessed and I went into a tangent. So I was reading about eyes and everything. I found the theory of personalities based on the pattern of your iris, and I want to share that with you, right? So it turns out that the pattern of your iris can tell a lot about a personality, about a person, and can tell you what are their interests, what are the best careers for this type of people. It tells you a lot of information about the iris, about the person by the iris. So I was very interested by that, and I started reading more and more and more and more and more about it. So the first iris that I was reading about was the stream iris. So there's 4, right? You have the stream, the jewel, the shaker, and the flower. I'm gonna start from the stream because the stream is mine, the one that I own in my eye socket. So the stream is characterized by the fibers of the eyes all streaming out from the center of the eye. It's a very simple eye. It doesn't really have a lot going on except that it's very symmetrical and all the fibers are streaming out, right? Then you have the flower, and the flower eyes are all the fibers of the eyes are creating a shape, a flower shape. It's like distorted, so it creates a shape. Then you have the jewel eyes, which is very regular, kind of looking like a stream. However, these eyes are characterized by having these dots. It has color pigmentation, segmentation. It says segments of color pigmentation that it has, like little dots. And then you have the shaker's eyes, which is the combination between jewel and flower. So you see the distortion petals of the flower, but also it has dots like the jewel. And each of these have a specific trace for personality, and I'll tell you all about it. So I brought a little bit of help, because nobody got time to memorize every single detail. So let's start with the stream iris. The stream iris speaks about someone that is in touch with themselves, connected with. It has a great sense of connectedness with everything and everyone. This person is very intuitive. It has a great talent for mediating communication, very emotional, sensitive to other people's emotions, emotionally intelligent, and the main challenges that this personality has is basically risk of change. First time. Is the fear of change and risk taking, because it's a very stable personality. They like their stability. They like their sense of groundness. So therefore, they are afraid of change, afraid of risks, and afraid of things like that. But then they're great communicators, great mediators, and great people to be connected with. Then you have the flower. The flower iris personality traits are a very creative, very emotional person, guided by fun. The flower is very enthusiastic, social. When you're around a person that has flower iris, you're having a good time because they're creative, innovative, that's a great iris to have, in my opinion. Then the challenges that the iris, that is flower, has basically comes from not being able to control themselves. So it's a group that is very impulsive, and they care about the fun a lot, and their creative process, and creating and innovating. So they are hard to have in a specific box, and when they do feel in that specific box, they can feel without purpose and depression. Then you have the jewel iris, and that is, think Wall Street, right? It's very analytical, very data driven people that like to speak with facts, perfectionists. They are great leaders, and basically when you speak about a person that has jewel eyes, remember the one with the dots, they are very passionate about control. So it is important for them to feel control. Therefore, their main struggles and challenges is to be able to go with the flow and let control go. So that's basically their challenges. But great leaders, great business people, analytical thinkers, all of that good stuff. Then you have the shaker. The shaker iris speaks about someone that has a good mix between the flower and the jewel, meaning that, as I said before, it has a combination of the petals like fibers plus the dots in the eyes. So it is the perfect combination. It's a great iris to have as well. It is a great motivator, very enthusiastic. It's like a flower child that thinks a lot. It's a combination of these two personalities, which is for me a great combo, because what? Like, you're great and also you are smart and a thinker. Another thing that I found about eyes is called Sanpaku eyes. And this is a term, a Japanese term, and this is a way of analyzing a person's balance, internal balance, physical and emotional. You can analyze how well balanced a person is based on where the sclera of their eyes is showing. The sclera is the white of the eye. So it literally means 3 whites, Sanpaku. So your eyes can either have no Sanpaku, meaning that your iris covers the whole area of, that is supposed to cover, or it can show in the bottom, or it can show on the top. So let's talk about it a little bit, because you know what? Why not? We're here, we talk about eyes. Why not learn a little bit more, right? So you get Jin Sanpaku. Jin Sanpaku is when the eyelid, when the white of the eyes is showing under. That means that your iris is floating a little bit above, and you can see the bottom white. People with Jin Sanpaku means that the danger comes from the outside. They tend to put themselves on dangerous situations, and tend to be in at risk more than anybody else. These people with the Jin Sanpaku usually are have had a hard life, saw a lot of suffering, go through a lot, and not as aware of their surroundings as they should be, and that's how they get into dangerous situations that get them. A lot of celebrities with Jin Sanpaku. For example, Marilyn Monroe, Diana the Princess. There's a lot of people with Jin Sanpaku. It's not very uncommon, and there are different grades of it and different levels. When I learned first about Sanpaku, I started analyzing the people around me, because that's what people do when they find something new. They start looking at other people for reference. So I noticed that one of my friends that was going through something really hard, I noticed from the very beginning how it went from not having any Sanpaku to one of his eyes becoming Sanpaku. And I didn't say nothing, but I noticed. Then you have Yang Sanpaku. And Yang Sanpaku is when the sclera, or the white of the eye, is showing from the top. So that indicates that the danger is coming from within. Those are people full of rage, full of hate, mentally ill, usually have very bad imbalance in their system, and they're not only dangerous to themselves, they're also dangerous to others. And people that have these Sanpaku eyes usually are dangerous people. I was looking on the internet, and for example, Charles Manson had John Sanpaku. Charles Manson, the serial killer. And there's many others. The shooters for school shooters. Google have a plethora of all of the Jan Sanpaku killers, politicians, different people that have that type of eye that shows the imbalance that they're dealing with. Basically, when you're a baby, you're born with your eyes full of iris, very little sclera showing. And you can see the sclera, but not as much. As now, as we grow up, we become more susceptible to our life experiences, and that's how our balance will show through our eyes. It will show the rest. The people that can analyze this to understand what type of person they're dealing with based in Sanpaku. And this is actually a very serious terminology in Japan. They actually do believe that the iris of the person can tell you how balanced or not balanced they are. If you have your iris not showing, that means that you're a balanced person, according to the Japanese, their beliefs. And well, my friends, this has been all. I hope that you enjoy my little talk, little research to inform you. I just wanted to share some of this information that I found because I thought it was interesting, and it's something to consider and think about and go crazy over. Just look at your eyelid, just look at your eyes in the mirror. Just go like that. Put a light, and you can tell what type of eyes do you have. Or just relax, look at yourself in the mirror and see where does your iris go, up, down, to the side, what the fuck is it doing.